see if anyone comes. Hello. They did. Hello. Okay, we're just going to get started because this is not a very long video at all. This is the prep video. I just didn't have enough time over the weekend with all of the flights and stuff. That's a whole different story. To do it. So we're going to do it now. So this is the first day, and the first day is the prep video. So I'm just going to tell you a little bit about all the stuff that you're going to need. And then you can trace your pattern on your hoop, in your fabric, and put it in the hoop, or you can use the sticky solvy like my mom is going to do, and then talk a little bit about the colors and then fabrics as well, because it's obviously a picnic table, so you could make it picnic table fabric, which would be super cute. I suppose it could be a picnic like in a grass or something, but anyways, when you print your pattern out, there's kind of two sizes. So when you go to print it, it kind of prints it a little bit smaller like that. So you need to go to make sure it's 100%, and if it's 100%, it will be like this. So you might have to go to like settings, or mine is like under, I can't remember what mine is under, but you need to do it at 100%, and then it will fill up the whole thing. If not, don't worry, you can still use this one, just a very slightly tiny bit smaller. You can either use a pattern fabric and not do the lines, or you can just extend those lines out so that they touch the inside of the middle of your hoop. So it's not really a big deal, and it's not going to influence like the number of strands or anything else that you use. So it's literally just going to be if you prefer it to be all the way to the top or not. So that's it. Okay, so for this you're going to need needles. I've got the needle book for, I think we did this in February or March. So I've got a couple different size needles here that I tend to use. I've got one for 6 strands, I've got one for 3 or 4 strands, and I've got one for kind of 1 or 2. So I like having a bunch of different ones, but it's completely up to you. You can always just use one if you feel like it. What's going on here? There we go. So there we go. I like to match the kind of thickness of my needle with how many strands I have, and you just get a much nicer kind of finish to your embroidery. And I'm telling you, I could go on and on about the different colors and color theory and the strands and the needles and all that kind of stuff. But I'll leave it at that. I tend to use these two the most, and then I've got a really thin one for 1 strand. If you need to like outline something or just add a couple little bits there and there, or here and there. But yeah, these are the ones I like the best. And this is actually still a pattern in my shop. It's still £5. I haven't changed them all yet because I have to change them individually. So if you want to get any of the patterns, they're still £5. So there's that. I'm going to need an embroidery hoop. I forgot. I tend to use these from England. They're the LBZ hardwood hoops. So I actually just have one of these ones that my mom had. And we're just going to try and use this one because it actually doesn't look too bad. There's not any gaps around the hoop. It has 2 parts like all hoops do, but it's a bamboo one, so you can kind of see the difference there. But they tend to sell these kind of at Michael's and like Hobby Lobby or whatever in the States, and then also at Hobbycraft in England. And then obviously I've got the hardwood hoops that are available close to me actually. You're gonna need scissors, obviously. I've got my embroidery scissors, and then I've just got a regular pair of like kitchen scissors that we're just gonna cut out the fabric and the paper with. You're going to need something to trace your pattern if you're going to trace it, or you need the sticky solvy paper if you're going to print it out. You can also trace directly on this sticky solvy paper. You can see right through it. So if you don't have a printer, you don't really need one. but I like to use the heat erase ball friction pens when I do my tracing. They have oh, there we go. They have different thicknesses, and for these kind of flame ones, it's a little bit hard to see, but this is 0.7. This one's also 0.7. And then I also have this kind, which is a fine liner one. It's almost like a marker instead of a like gel pen, I guess. See, the tip's a bit different. But I like to use those. I tend to use this one if I'm doing lines to show the stitches. So I've got both in my little toolbox. Right, and then you're gonna need some fabric. So I've got a couple different choices here. I brought these two with me just as a maybe pattern of the month or something. And then obviously like my favorite white cotton fabric. But then I have this one from last year's, or maybe 2 years ago actually, the Swan. So I don't know if you've seen this. I actually left it in the States. So I've just found it again. And I thought that would be really pretty as a base fabric. Or my mom found these napkins. They're actually napkins that someone had given her. And this could be really cute for a background if you don't do the lines on top. So imagine like this, yeah, but with no lines and then stitching on there. That could be really cute. Or obviously you could go to an online fabric store, or I don't know if Michael's has a lot of fabric. And you know I don't really like Hobby Lobby that much, but I know they have fabric there too. And you could get kind of like a check like that. Would be super cute. But feel free to just use white as well, because you can change the colors of here, the lines in the background, to make it look like a picnic blanket as well. So it depends on what you like. Also, I've left them quite spaced out because you could actually add more than just 2 plaids if you wanted to. So that's another choice that we can make. We're going to do the lines first tomorrow, and then we're going to start getting the rest of the stuff stitched up. So the lines will get done quite early. So you could always just see what that looks like first and then choose your fabric after if you wanted to. But let's get started. I think I'm just going to do a regular color, maybe this off-white, like that. And I'm going to show you how to put the fabric in the hoop and then how to trace your pattern. And then we'll be done for today. We're just going to have a nice, short, easy day. Normally I go through all the different options that you could have. But this is kind of like a short, quick one. And you really only need a couple things for it. It's just a good old-fashioned stitch along. No extra stuff. So what we're going to do, I'm not actually going to trace this on here because if we do go to the store tomorrow, I might have a look at a different fabric. So what we're going to do is you can do kind of one of 2 ways. You can either put this underneath like this and then start tracing like that. You can put it in the hoop first. That's not even the right one. I want the bigger one, a slightly bigger one. And put it in the hoop first. Your fabric in the hoop. Yeah. Which I'm going to show you how to do that in a minute. And then you can slide this behind the hoop and then trace it on like that. That's my preferred way of doing it. And then obviously the other way is to use the sticky solvy. I didn't bring these sticky solvy with me, but I might have to buy some while I'm here because the price has gone up in England so much of sticky solvy. Even just off things like Amazon or in the store. Okay. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna put this right here in our hoop. This is my preferred way. And I like to leave about this much space around. But you can always do something else with it later if you wanted to take it out and put it in a picture frame, or you can make it into like a pillow or like mount it. So you're just going to tighten it a little bit, and then we're going to pull it against our bodies like this and tighten it up all the way around. Have you guys been impacted by the wildfires at all in Canada? Because we are in Michigan and it's been very hazy and the air quality has been really, really bad. So I think it was like Thursday and Friday we like didn't go outside. Friday we went to the store, like Meijer. We didn't go to like anywhere special. And I had to send some packages. So we went and did that. And then you're just going to tighten it a little bit more and then tighten it a little bit more. So you want to have the top tightened, and then you want to go around and pull your fabric tight all the way around. I could probably go a little bit more than that. And then what I like to do is slide this behind, so kind of line it up how you want it, like that, and then slide it right behind. And you might have to cut a little bit more off. The smaller one probably would have worked then, actually. Because you want it to fit right inside. These scissors are so odd. Maybe they're like left-handed scissors or something. So I think I'm cutting off like a very small amount, and it's actually quite a lot. Okay. Yeah, I didn't really want to cut that much, but hey ho. Right, you can use some blue tack or some tape. I actually have some tape right here, which I never have tape here, but I cut my mom's tape. And you can literally tape it where you want it. Air quality was really bad Friday, then it got better, but today you could smell smoke in the air. I'm in Richmond. Oh, you know what? Saturday it got better. Yeah, a bit better. And then it started smelling again. I could really smell it, but some people said they couldn't at all. I was like, I think you're just immune to it, because you could smell like the burning. Okay, so after you do that, I like to put my fingers like that on the back, and then just carefully trace it out. You can also do light underneath, so shine your flashlight through, like the flashlight on your phone, or you can shine an actual flashlight if you don't have a phone flashlight, and you can see it so much better. But you can trace, and then when you're finished, I like to take it out of the hoop and put another piece of fabric behind it. So stitching on 2 layers of fabric. I'll often stitch on 1 layer of this white, and then whatever layer is my top layer. So if I have a patterned fabric, then I will do the patterned fabric on top and then just a white on the back, just so that I can have like a nice one. It gives you a little bit more for the hoop to grip on, but I also think it makes it so that if you've got like any like light shining through or anything like that, it makes it like super, like the color a little bit more. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but if you can see, like this is like got 2 layers and this one here only has 1, you can kind of like see through it a little bit. It just makes it like white, like super nice and white. But then also I just think it's a little bit like more stable when you're stitching on it, you know? It gets it really tight in the hoop as well, so I like that. All right, so I'm just going to talk a little bit about the Sticky Solvy, because I always get a lot of questions about the Sticky Solvy. It's just a paper that you can print on, and it's water soluble. So you do all of your stitching and then you wash it off. Whatever you don't stitch will get washed away, and you're left with whatever you stitch, okay? So for us, it will be all the things that are black, all the black things will be stitched and then filled in some weaving and all that kind of stuff as well. So the only thing I would say with this is we are going to do the woven wagon wheel roses, and we are going to do some weaving here on the basket. So you might want to leave those until last after you wash your sticky solvy off, because you don't really want these right here to become unraveled when you wash them. Okay, because you really have to like pound it with the water to get it off. You can't just get it a little bit wet and it will just disappear. You have to kind of, with warm water, wash it off. So that's the only thing about the sticky solvy that I kind of don't like. Also, these long things right here are going to be tacked down. So every single intersection here, they're going to be tacked down. And then you have a kind of choice of where you want to tack it. And I'll talk about that tomorrow. So these right here might also be something that you might want to save for last if you do sticky solvy, only because sometimes it looks tight on your sticky solvy, but then you go to wash it off and you get the wavy kind of lines. So even though they're going to be tacked from here to here or from here to here, it is still kind of a long stitch. So just something to think about there for that. So for tomorrow, you need to have your pattern on your hoop, on your fabric, and in the hoop, whatever way you want to do it. And we're going to start stitching tomorrow. So there we go. I told you it was going to be nice and short and sweet. But also I'm going to give you the little spiel. Don't go out and buy a bunch of accessories and tools and like special things. If all you have is a pencil, just use a pencil. You can just trace on with a pencil and stitch right over it. You're good. If all you have is like a cotton bed sheet and you don't need it anymore, cut up a little corner of it and you can stitch on that. Also, like men's dress shirts, if they're 100% cotton, would be perfect because they're all plaid, aren't they? There's so many plaid ones. So that would be really good to try and learn on. Again, as long as it's no stretch and a 100% cotton, okay? You can do like a poly cotton as well, but really, we kind of want to have cotton for this one. And yeah, don't go out buying 1,000,000 colors, okay? You don't need them. Just get the colors that you think that you might want to use. So books, coffee cup, coffee mug, obviously there's room for interpretation here. If you've got a favorite coffee mug, you could always put little flowers on it, or you can make little stripes, or you could do polka dots, or you could do like a chevron pattern, or you can write like #1 mum, or whatever your favorite coffee cup is. Obviously you can do that. But think of just a couple key colors you're going to use, maybe white, black, brown. So your favorite flower colors. What color is bread? You know, the bow could be white, it could be pink, it could be blue, it could be whatever. So I'm trying to keep it a little bit simple, but then you have room to like do a bit more if you want to. But yeah, you don't have to. Do you know what I mean? So there we go. That's all I've got. So we'll see you tomorrow, where we're going to actually start stitching. I will not be here tomorrow. I'll be downstairs in the spare room. So I might look a little bit different, but yeah, there we are. All the videos will be uploaded to YouTube, hopefully the night that they are done, as long as I can get them downloaded. For summer camp, we used Teams, and it was so nice because almost every single video downloaded immediately. It was so quick, it was so easy. So we'll see how this works. I really didn't want to use Teams like for every single stitch along, but we're just going to see how it works and then see, do we stay here? Do we go there? I don't know. And feel free to give feedback as well. I still have to send that feedback form. I've literally just remembered. But that's it for me. I hope you have a lovely evening, and I cannot wait to stitch with you tomorrow. All right, bye.